Hey guys, in this lesson we are going to see how to write a C# program to input values for three angles and display whether a triangle can be formed or not using given angle values. The thing is, you have to know that to form a triangle, the summation of all three angles should be equals to 180, which means 180 degrees. Here we will get started with new solution in Rider software. Here I am using Rider software because uh, I don't have Visual Studio in my Mac. If you have Visual Studio on your Windows computer, it can be easier also, but here we can create console applications in Rider software, but this is like a paid software that you can purchase. But if you are a undergraduate, you can request a student version for 1 year. It will be free. Then you have to use your university email address for download that. Here I will click new solution, then select the console application. You have to select console application in Rider software when you creating the new solution. But if you are using Visual Studio, you have to make sure that you also selected console application and select the language as C# and solution name will be angle. Okay, now we are ready. Click create. Okay, this is my program.cs file. When you create Visual Studio project also, you will see this program.cs file. Here my action is write a C program to input values for three angles and display whether a triangle can be formed or not using given angle values. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's create a class now. Class, this should be a public class. Okay, public class. Then let's go ahead and say that name as angle. Now we have to put braces. Okay, now I will create a function. This function will calculate whether given inputs and the summation of given inputs will be equals to 180 or not. Okay, I will go ahead and say public boolean, because if it is true we can return true, if it is false we can return false, which means the summation of given inputs are not equals to 180. Then public boolean, this should be a boolean, right? I am not familiar with Java, that's why that mistakes happening. Okay, public bool. Now I can say find summation. Okay, now I need several inputs for this. First one also will be integer value, let's say int x, and then second one int y, int z. Okay, and return, let's say for now as false, but in the above of this class we can go ahead and create a new boolean. Bool is equals, let's define that as the variable, we can say false here. Now here I will go ahead and add if statement. Firstly we have to create the sum. Let's say int sum equals to x plus y plus z, semicolon, and we have to say if sum. Now we are checking whether sum is equals to 180, and now if it is equals to 180 we can say is equals as true. Okay, now we can return is equals. In the else statement we could add, but it doesn't matter because still is equals is false. Then we are setting is equals to true if this sum is 180 only, which means this will be only true if this if statement is going to execute. This will not execute if this sum value is not equals to 180. Then we can really skip this else statement. Okay, now in the above we can create a reference to this angle. Now we can really create another file for this class. In your IDE, maybe Rider, maybe Visual Studio, you will see these 3 or 4 dots. You have to press on that. Then firstly we have to create the reference, then you will see that later. I will tell that later. Okay, now I can go ahead and say var angle is equals to new angle and then parenthesis. Why I am not using angle instead of this var? Because in the var it will automatically create a reference to this angle class. It will create a new reference to this angle class. Then we really don't want to again define this is a type of angle class. That's why I use var instead of this class name. Now I can call for find summation, but find summation method. Now here you will see these dots, then you will see this settings icon, maybe in also Visual Studio. Now you can see move to angle.cs file. You can press that, then it will automatically create a class, a file for that class. Okay, like this. Now we need inputs from user. To get input from user, I will go ahead and replace this Console.WriteLine as please provide first angle value. Then we need a variable int x, then it will be Console.ReadLine. Here we are asking for integer, then we could pass this. Let's do like this in var. Okay, we are getting a string. You can see by using Console.ReadLine we are getting a string. Okay, then in further we have to convert this into a integer. Okay, let's write another Console.WriteLine and say please provide second angle value. Then we can say var y is equals to Console.ReadLine, not read, it is read line, and then semicolon. Now the final one, we can ask for please provide third, which is the last angle value. This one var, let's say z, is equals to Console.ReadLine. Here we have to convert these values into integer. To convert these values into integer, you can see it says this is a string. We can use simple int.Parse. This p character should be capital, then it will read the input from keyboard and will convert into integer. Now you can see this var type will be integer now. Also here int.Parse, it will convert this value into integer. Also here the last one, it will continue that value into integer. Now we can pass these values into this function. Okay, now this will returns a boolean as we added in this class. Here this will returns a boolean. Then we can create a bool finder, let's say finder like that. Then if finder is true, we can really use only this, which means if it is true, we can do like this. It will provide if it is true. That means this if statement execute if this is true only. You can really use that variable name only to find that bool is true. Okay, in the else statement it will give whether this is false. This is actually similar to like this. Okay, now we can Console.WriteLine. Given inputs can be used to create a triangle. To else statement we can add given input cannot be used to create a triangle. Okay, now we have to run this. Click the run button. First angle value, let's say 60. Second value, let's say 50. Third value will be 70. Given inputs can be used to create a triangle. Let's run again. Let's say 80, 10, 10. Given inputs cannot be used to create a triangle. As you know, a triangle have angles that summation will be 180 degree. Okay, and that's it for this lesson, and I will see in the next lesson. Thank you very much.